If you have ever trained a machine learning model and then wondered, how do I run this in production? Or how do I scale it when a user suddenly increase? And how do real companies actually deploy machine learning systems reliably? Welcome back to Learning Hub and welcome back to the channel. So far in our journey, we've already built strong foundations. We learned Docker, we automated workflows using GitHub Actions, and now we're stepping into the next real world layer, that is Kubernetes. This is not going to be a YAML dump series. This is a why plus how plus hands-on Kubernetes series built specifically for ML and MLOps use cases. So in this series, we're not just learning Kubernetes commands, we are building a production grade mindset. And by the end of this journey, you will be able to deploy machine learning model on Kubernetes, scale inference workloads automatically, manage configurations, secrets, and model versions, handle failures, rollouts, and zero downtime updates, and more importantly, build a real MLOps grade Kubernetes setup, the kind actually used in the industry. So every part in this video series will be hands-on. We'll start from the fundamentals, understand why Kubernetes exists, and then gradually move towards deploying and scaling real ML services. So if your goal is not just to learn Kubernetes, but to use Kubernetes as an ML engineer, ML ops engineer, or backend engineer, then this video series is exactly for you. So let's stop treating Kubernetes as a buzzword and start using it as a production tool. Let's get started. First, we'll pause for a moment and look at what we already achieved with Docker. Docker solved a huge problem for us. First, it killed the classic "it works on my machine" issue. No more mismatched Python versions and no more missing libraries. Second, dependency management becomes simpler. Everything your application needs lives inside the container. Third, portability. If it runs on your laptop, it runs on the server, it runs on the cloud, and it runs anywhere Docker is installed. And finally, a consistent environment. Same OS layer, same dependencies, same behavior every single time. In fact, our ML workflows became very clean. We trained a model, wrapped it inside Fast API, packaged the model, the API, and all the dependencies into a single Docker container, and just ran it. From the outside, it felt, well, perfect. One container, one command, and one running ML service. At this stage, Docker feels more than sufficient. You might even be thinking, why do we need anything beyond this? And that question is exactly why Kubernetes exists. Because Docker works beautifully until your applications needs to live longer, scale larger, and fail safety. And that's where things start to break, not in theory, but in production. So in the next part, we'll talk about where Docker starts failing and why those failures are impossible to ignore at scale. We'll talk about the first place where Docker breaks in the real world. So imagine this. You've deployed your ML inference service using Docker. Your fast API container is also running. Requests are coming in and everything looks fine. Now the container crashes. Maybe the process runs out of memory. Maybe the model throws an unexpected exception. And maybe the server restarts. So what happens next? Well, nothing. Docker does exactly what you told it to do. It stops. There is no automatic recovery, no intelligence, no self-healing. You have to SSH into the server, check logs, manually restart the container, and hope it doesn't crash again. This might be okay on your laptop. It might even work for a demo. But in case of a production, if your ML service crashes at 2 a.m. in the morning, your users don't care that you're sleeping. Docker has no idea what should be running. It only knows what is running right now. And this leads to a bigger problem. You are managing containers manually, starting them, stopping them, and restarting them. That's a single node mindset. One machine, one container, and one human watching over it. Docker was never designed to be a production orchestrator. It's a container runtime, not a system manager. And once you realize this, the question changes. It's no longer how do I run a container? It becomes how do I keep my application running no matter what fails? And that question is the first step towards Kubernetes. Now we'll move to the second breaking point, that is scaling. Your ML model is live, your API works, and suddenly traffic increases, which means more users, more requests, and higher latency. So what do you do with Docker? You might run the same command again, Docker run model container 3 times, and congratulations, you now have 3 added containers. But here's the real question. Who decides where the traffic goes? Well, Docker doesn't do that. There is no built-in load balancing, no traffic distribution, no awareness of which container is healthy or overloaded. You're now manually wiring ports, reverse proxies, health checks, and routing rules. And even after all this, there is no auto scaling. Docker doesn't scale because CPU is high. It doesn't scale because latency increased, and it doesn't scale because request volume spiked. Scaling becomes a guesswork, a manual intervention, and late night firefighting. And for a static website, maybe you can survive this. But for ML inference, this is going to be unacceptable. ML workloads are unpredictable. One viral feature, one bad job, one sudden spike, and your service either slows down or goes completely offline. At this point, Docker stops feeling simple and starts feeling fragile. The problem is not your model. The problem is not fast API. The problem is that Docker has no concept of scale. And this is the moment where we stop asking, how do I run more containers, and start asking, how do I scale intelligently? And once again, that question leads us straight to Kubernetes. Now we'll talk about the third failure point, and this one hurts the most in production. So imagine your ML service is running, traffic is flowing, everything looks stable, and then suddenly one container dies. Maybe it's a memory spike, maybe it's a bad request, or maybe it's a silent crash. And what does Docker do? Well, it does nothing. Docker doesn't care whether your service is alive or dead. It won't replace the container, it won't restart it intelligently, and it won't even tell you something is wrong unless you're watching. So you intervene manually, you log in, you inspect, and you restart. And that's fine until this happens in the production. In real ML systems, downtime is not just a technical issue. Downtime means broken APIs, failed predictions, and missed business decisions. And most importantly, lost trust. Once users stop trusting your predictions, they stop trusting your product. And Docker offers no guarantee that your desired state will always be running. There is no concept of this service must always be up, or replace failed instances automatically, or heal the system without human intervention. Docker run containers. It does not operate systems. And production ML is not about running code. It's about keeping systems alive. So the question now becomes, how do we build ML services that recover automatically without waiting for a human to wake up? And once again, the answer pulls us closer to Kubernetes. Now, we'll talk about a problem that quietly destroys production system. So in most Docker-based setups, configuration lives in the worst possible places. Environment variables are hard-coded, secrets get baked inside the image, and small changes trigger full rebuilds. Need to change the database URL? Well, you need to rebuild the image. If you need to rotate an API key, you need to rebuild the image. And if you need to update a model path or threshold value, you need to rebuild the image again. Suddenly, your Docker image is no longer just code. It's a bundle of secrets, configs, and assumptions. And this creates a real risk. Secrets inside image can leak. Configuration changes becomes very slow and error prone. And a simple typo means redeploying everything. And in ML systems, configuration changes happen all the time. Model version change, feature flags change, thresholds change, and endpoints tend to evolve. But Docker treats configuration as static. There is no clean separation between application code, environment configuration, and sensitive secrets. And what should have been a runtime choice becomes a build time headache. At scale, this turns into chaos. And you start asking why image has which config. Sorry. And you start asking which image has which config, which model version is running where, and which secret is safe to rotate. And if you can't answer those questions confidently, you don't have a system. You have a time bomb. Production ML systems need configurations to be dynamic, secure, versioned, and changeable without rebuilding everything. Docker was never designed for that. And once again, we hit the same wall. Docker gets your app running, but it doesn't help you operate it safely. And this is exactly the kind of problem Kubernetes was built to solve. Now we'll talk about the fifth and perhaps the most painful problem. Imagine this. You've trained a new model version. You've improved your ML API and you're ready to deploy. With Docker, the process looks like the following. Stop the old container and start the new container. And that's it. And what happens in the meantime? Downtime. Requests fail, user get errors, and business logic break. Even if it's just a few seconds in production, those few seconds are unacceptable. There's no gradual replacement, no intelligent routing, and no zero downtime deployment. You can script hacks, use a reverse proxy, or manually spin up new containers, but it's brittle, error prone, and hard to maintain at scale. In ML systems, rolling updates aren't just nice to have, they're essential because models evolve, API change, and thresholds get tuned. And every update must be safe, seamless, and automated. Well, Docker alone cannot guarantee that. And that's the moment it becomes obvious. Docker gets you started, it solves your work on my machine problem. But when you need reliability, scaling, self healing, secure configs, and smooth updates, Docker hits the limit. And this is where Kubernetes enters the picture. A system designed to orchestrate containers at scale so your ML services are always running, always available, and always manageable. And there is one final problem we need to address before we can truly appreciate Kubernetes. Multi-container ML systems fail. Real MLOps is rarely just a single model in a container. You need a model service, a feature store, a database, monitoring tools, message queues, all working together and all talking to each other. What can a Docker do on its own? It can run containers, it can package your model, but it cannot orchestrate an entire system. And that brings us to the key point I want you to remember. Docker helps you run containers, but Kubernetes helps you run systems. And that is the fundamental difference. And this is exactly why we need Kubernetes. So, in the next part of this series, we'll answer one big question. How do I run containers reliably at scale? We'll go beyond Docker commands, beyond theory, and explore how real ML systems are deployed, scaled, and maintained in production. If you've ever wondered how companies keep ML services running 24/7, this is where it all starts. So get ready. Kubernetes isn't just a tool, it's the system that turns your containers into production grade ML services.